And it's time now for the big issues here on TV3Newday. Thank you so much for staying with us. If you just joined us, good morning to you. Have you had your niche chocolate drink already? Well, it's the right time for you to have it, especially if you're going to be spending the next hour with us. I'd want you to have something to help you cool down because the conversation could get a bit hot. And so sometimes you need something to help you cool down a bit. But most importantly, it gives you all the nutrients that you require, the vitamins, and it is so delicious. And so every morning we talk about niche chocolate drink, the fact that they have the 750 ml bottle, they have the Tetra Pak, they have the sachet that you can mix with hot water and you're good to go. But they have just introduced another of their products, and that is the niche chocolate paste with peanut. And it is delicious. I am not exaggerating. You should try. Maybe we can zoom in onto that so you see. So at every point, we'll give you something new from niche chocolate so you can try. So they also have niche chocolate, which comes in different flavors. So if you're very health conscious, then of course you go for the dark chocolate. But they also have the other flavors. So you can get strawberry, orange, banana, ginger. I mean, you name it and they have it. And that's also a perfect gift pack for you. So if you're thinking of getting chocolates, whether it's chocolate drink or just chocolates for someone, always think niche. Niche taste of Ghana. My guest this morning, there's one who's looking all sparkly. And well, she says that her birthday is in a month. And so she started celebrating already. Ellen Amadeku is a member of the communications team for the MPP. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Looking very sparkly.
Oh, as I said, I've started.
You started already?
When God grants you some years on earth, and for me, it's been, God willing, next month I'll be 40. So, yes, you have to start celebrating.
Happy birthday in advance. You don't even look it.
Well,
you don't look, I mean, I wouldn't have thought that you were anywhere close to 40.
I'm one of the 1982.
I see. Oh, babies. Nice. So we're having a party, right?
Hopefully, yes.
Hopefully, by God's grace, we will. We shall all attend, plus the viewers. So we're throwing an invitation to everybody. If you get the invitation, fine. If you don't, well, we'll celebrate on your behalf. But also joining us this morning is lawyer Beatrice, and she is also a member of the NDC communications team. Good morning.
Good morning.
Any birthday celebration coming up for you too?
No, not
yet.
All. Not
okay. Have you celebrated yours already?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Except that I'm not. She didn't invite anybody. I didn't.
Did you have a party?
In this economy, can you do any party? I didn't.
Oh, there are people who are still having parties.
Yes, they are MPP people. So
it's only MPP people who are having parties.
Yes, because apart from MPP people, the rest
exactly, for his wedding.
That was what says that the rest of us are. No, John Mohammed's one was what? So I don't see how in an economy where it's made up of MPP and jobless,
you cannot celebrate.
You have to.
But former President Mahama celebrated his 30th wedding anniversary. That's a wedding anniversary. It was very huge.
So it's not a birthday party.
They even commissioned.
You don't. Is
it a maternity ward or something?
You don't celebrate birthday parties under this. Unless you're an MP. But you can celebrate anniversaries.
Okay.
Why not? Every 4 years.
So anniversaries you can. Any other thing you can celebrate, but not birthday party.
Yes. For the jobless people. You know.
But you are not jobless.
The president says that you are either MPP or jobless. And so, for the president...
You're either NDC, you mean?
No, you are either
Try
MPP.
to destabilize.
No, you're either MP or jobless. So that's the kind of economy that he is presiding
Move
over.
On. Anyway, we
just like how
somebody
celebrated his wedding anniversary.
Let's talk about Labianca and, of course, the special prosecutor's report over a petition that was presented to the special prosecutor some months ago. In fact, in November 2021, there was someone who petitioned the special prosecutor to investigate the customs division of the GRA and Labianca company and its subsidiaries for alleged evasion of import duties as far back as 2017. And so the special prosecutor, per his report, decided to embark on this investigation. And in fact, apart from the fact that they said they were able to retrieve some 1 million Ghana cedis and over from Labianca, which imports or is actually one of Ghana's biggest importers of frozen foods, they also established that there was enough evidence to indicate that the Deputy Commissioner of Customs in charge of operations, Joseph Eduche, also issued an unlawful custom advance ruling which reduced the benchmark value of the goods imported, translating to reduced tax obligations. But he wasn't the only one who was fingered in this. In fact, his boss as well was also fingered for having oversight responsibility of what had transpired. And according to the special prosecutor, Colonel retired Damwa sought to distance himself from Mr. Edochie's decision during his interview on 16 February 2022. However, he gave tacit approval to the decision, and the determination stood to the benefit of the applicants. And so if that happened, then it means that the half-hearted seaman recantation is unhappily belated and does not absolve Colonel retired Damwa of ultimate responsibility for the apparently contrived decision. Well, Colonel retired Damwa has been speaking about this, and this is what he had to say.
All that's happened, one of the reasons was because of Mr. Akurugu. He wanted Mr. Akurugu to be seconded to his office, and I said no. Mr. Akurugu is a customs officer, primarily employed to do customs work. And he is to partner Mr. Akutofachin in that office, African Continental Free Trade Area. He deals with tariffs and valuation. And therefore, I cannot second him to the office of the special prosecutor because he has a primary role to play in customs. And then he comes back through the Commissioner General. And again, I said, I insist, and we'll go by that he has a primary role. It is when I don't have a role for him, or I can dispense with his services, I have others to do what he's going to do, that I will give him to you. So I insist. And he calls me to his office when in relation to Labianca. And at the end of it, he talks to me about this same matter. And I said, yes, it is not the Commissioner General. I wrote it. Go and check it. And I have my reasons. He will not be released to you. He will be in customs. And then behind me, he goes to resign. He's given the position of Commissioner of Police rank, and he's now with your office. And he goes to make allegations that Mr. Edochie and myself, we hit him, and they will deal with us. So that is it. That is the basis of that publication. But if you read it very well, there's nothing in it. It's hollow. It's actuated by malice. And those who are behind it, they know themselves. They know themselves. They've tried it several times. It is not working, and it won't work. I'm ready for any prosecution. That's what he must do. Not to say that they should do further investigations up to 2017. Up to 2015, I have letters written by Deputy Commissioner Demis Agavo granting similar things. And I produced them when he called me. He didn't have the letters, but I had the letters.
And so that is Colonel retired Damwa, and he says that there's a deliberate attempt to disgrace him, and he's not going to allow that. But why is this also a very major topic, aside from the fact that there's some over 1 million Ghana cedis that has been retrieved by the special prosecutor? We're also told that it involves the CEO of Labianca company, who is Miss Asumahene, and she currently serves as a member of the governing board of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, and also a member of the Council of State. And if you look at the report from the special prosecutor, it says that Ms. Asumahene, through influence peddling or trading of influence, got the deputy commissioner to actually grant that request. And so those details are on your screen right now. Labianca Company Limited started operations in 2014. It's owned by Ms. Asumahene, and the company imports about 200 40-footer shipping containers of frozen meat monthly. It started engagements with GRA in 2017. This is 3 years after operations to get benchmark values reduced. And so this is how come we are at where we are at the moment. And same time, Ms. Asumahene was elected Council of State and board member of the Ghana Ports and Harbours. So the application was for a reduction of benchmark values by 50 to 80%. The application was initially rejected, but Deputy Commissioner for Customs, Mr. Joseph Edochie, rendered a customs advance ruling reducing the benchmark values to 5 to 10%. And so that is exactly what happened, which is why there was a need for this investigation, because we're told, of course, that her company was sidestepping the payment of import duties. And clearly, Colonel Major Retired is not happy about the fact that he also has been fingered. Beatrice, I'll start off with you. What do you make of these comments that have been made by Colonel Major Retired?
I thought you would start off with the government spokesperson to be
I want to start off with you.
You know, we live in a country where, as we speak, the MPP have added corruption as part of our cultural values. Because there is no shame, there is no principle, there is no conscience associated with the dealings of the MPP. And it's agents, assigns, and representatives. Because you see, this Labianca matter started as early as 2017. At the time when this government was telling us that we should encourage local farmers, local poultry farmers, they had connived with their financier. Labianca is not just the CEO of Labianca company, the Eunice woman who is called Labianca. She's a financier of the MPP.
And you can say that for a
Yes,
fact?
I can tell you for a fact.
You have evidence to prove that she's a financier?
I have evidence to prove that. You see, the special prosecutor's report is even scanty because the deals are even dirtier than the special prosecutor limited himself to. We have very close sources. It started with one, evading of taxes, which is a crime. And I don't know why, as part of the special prosecutor's recommendation or action, she's not going to prosecute those found guilty. After the tax evasion, it continued with under declaring. She will import frozen chicken thigh and declare chicken back because the duties are less. So in addition to the discount that the government gives her, already the cost price of the items as she declares to the port is under declare. And so the MPP is in bed with state institutions to milk the nation. And I have consistently said that this Labianca matter is just consistent with, look at PDS. Look at how the government handled PDS. Look at Ijapa. Look at Sputnik V. Everything for this government is procurement. The government is simply running a procurement economy. And the nation Ghana is suffering. Look at how poverty is worsening under this government. Unemployment is highest in 30 years. Inflation is highest in 19 years. Today, we are being told that inflation is 31.7%. And if you have a president that presides over a system, he has created a council system, presiding over that council system, and hits his chest and proudly says that he is happy about the outstanding performance of his government, then this morning I think it's a big shame, and we should not be proud as an. I am terrified because you see the 1 million cedis which was recovered is just a fraction, a minute fraction. Go and see the rot. When we NDC was in power, President Mills used the ANAS principle to uncover some of the rot that occurs at the port. The president told us that he was going to use the ANAS principle. Today, members of ANAS's team have lost their lives. ANAS is nowhere to be found. ANAS practically doesn't even exist in Ghana. So we have a serious matter on our hands. And until we all rise up, it will come to affect us. Because Labianca alone benefits so much that even other importers are not able to import what hitherto they were importing into the country. They would rather buy from her directly. Because she gets all these tax evasion mechanisms and tax incentives because she's a member of the MPP.
Is that the reason why?
Yes.
It's not. If you look at, hold on, if you look at a statement that was released by the Chamber of Freight and Trade, and I'll read a part of it that says that they believe that both Labianca and the Customs Division of the GRA acted in accordance to the laws of Ghana, specifically the Customs Act 2015, Act 819, and they said it is never out of place or illegal for any importer for this matter, Labianca Company Limited, to engage customs after the first 3 years of operations for customs advance ruling under Section 12 of the Customs Act 891. If you listen to the president of the Chamber of Freight and Trade, he says that this has been happening for a long time. So why is it that all of a sudden, this is happening?
Let's get very serious in this country. A company was formed in 2014 when Labianca's government was not in power. The laws of custom was not applicable until her government came to power and she became a member of the Council of State and the board of GAPOA. This is even conflict of interest. You serve on the board of the Ghana Ports and Harbour Authority through whom you clear your goods. And as the board chairman, you think anybody will have the right to say they will not grant you an advance ruling?
But the law is not specific on that, because it also says that it does not discriminate. It's not board chairman, but she's a member of the board.
She's a board member.
Yes, but then it says it does not discriminate against any person or condition of their position or religion. And so whether or not she's a member of the board, it does not preclude her from also benefiting.
Bella, let's take it one at a time. Let's not confuse issues. The company itself has admitted that they have evaded taxes.
Have they? Because per the reports, the special prosecutor said they did not.
Went ahead and advance payments for what the special prosecutor demanded. So what is it?
But the special prosecutor said that they did not request for that custom advance ruling.
No, you see, if a special prosecutor comes out with the finding and you're against it, or you believe in fact you are not guilty, where from the 1 million? The company has so much money that merely because a body invites you and you are not guilty, you are told that there is something wrong, and then you just advance 1 million cedis as a gift to the nation or what? You know, we are not children in this country. And you see, the corruption is a canker that is eating the very fabric of our society. And so when it comes, people must have the courage for us to speak about it. Let's not justify this, because the company itself has admitted that I'm guilty, has gone ahead to advance. If you look at the statement released by the Importers and Importers Association also, they said the company erred, they have taken measures to correct it. So why are we where we are? There is a canker in this country, and members of the MPP are the greatest beneficiaries. They are using the loopholes in the system to their benefit. It's a shame that the president or this woman is part of the body that advises the president. You can imagine the advice will be given to the president. Why should we be shocked that we have corruption everywhere? Why should we be shocked that we have over 17 billion by way of corruption? Money's gone down the drain under this president. Why should we be shocked that when it comes to the corruption perception index, we are experiencing some of the worst under this government? We should not be shocked, because this Labianca thing, there are other more companies who are doing the same deal. They get the tax evasion, they deny everybody the requisite tax, and they go and pass behind the back and they sort party up our cheeks out. That is why, despite these things, despite her own admission that they indeed evaded taxes, the president see no evil, hear no evil, talk no evil, and correct no evil. That's the kind of
I'm asking you that. Was it really about the fact that she occupies those positions as a member of the board of the GPHA? Because I've listened to some other stakeholders as well. They're saying that if she were to be a member of the board of the GRA, then we could have all said that she used that position to influence, the passing of the custom advance ruling. But
if you
once she's a member of the board of the GPHA, even the CEO of the GRA cannot influence the decision of the board.
No,
to even grant them an advance ruling.
If you understand how the ports, GRA, and customs operate. Custom is a division solely responsible for things that happen at the port under the GRA. So the port, GAPOA, operates directly with custom. So when you go to the port, you find custom officials at the port. And so when it comes to some of these things, the companies deal directly. So this one should not be shrouded under the bigger umbrella of GRA and say that there is a clear conflict. And I expect that this is a misstated conduct, and the president should ask her to step aside. But would the president ask her? The president who commends corrupt officials and make jokes about corruption, this president, when you are corrupt and you even admit, like in the Sputnik V case, he will patch you in the back, maintaining your position, and if people even call for reshuffle for some economic relief, he will say that it's because they are jobless. And I would say that the president for the longest time was very jobless in his life. At a point, he asked people to contribute, and the jobless people of this country to contribute and pay for his campaign. We were being told that let's buy recharge cards to support the MPP. They even went for loan. They could not pay. For the longest time, they could not pay their loan. And when you come to power, you empower your people to amass so much wealth, evade taxes, and engage in some of these most unconscionable
But how do we place this at the doorstep of the president? was he even aware of what was happening in the
He's
first place?
aware
Which
now.
is why the
president is aware now.
Now, yes, but then we make it seem as if he was aware of it from the beginning. He was the one that gave approval for some of these issues.
The ones he became aware of, what did he do?
So that means you don't think that he's going to step into this and do anything about it. But let's allow the special prosecutor to do his job. We're told that he's further investigating.
The president has no clue about what is happening in the country. If you listen to him, it's obvious that he's just being briefed. He has no clue. If you ask the president what the inflation is in the country today, he doesn't know. You remember his last interview when he went on air and he was asked, you promised the people of Cape Coast Airport. He was not even aware that such promise had been made. He was not aware. You promised the people Harbour. He was not even aware that in his own manifesto there was such a thing. And so this country is in a deep crisis. This country, corruption is an economy on its own. And so when you have leaders who are enablers of corruption, we will be where we are. We are in deep crisis.
Kenna Retired Adamwa says that this is just a deliberate attempt to disgrace him because he was not in any way complicit. All he did as the leader, of course, was to act per the law.
No, the report,
which is what his deputy also did.
The report did not indict him. He indicted his deputy. So I don't even know why he's reacting.
It indicted him to a large extent because it says that he had oversight ruling of this. And so if he was trying to take himself out of it, per the fact that this decision was made and it needed his tacit approval, that means that he was equally as involved and complicit as his deputy.
Take it away. You see, we have to admit, recently, Corruption Perception Index and how government or citizens viewed government agencies were published. All the state institutions, they came out to fight the corruption, the report. But we know that there is corruption. Let's not pretend. When you go to, even I as a lawyer, you go somewhere, if you don't pay your way through, you will not get your results. Why are we pretending that everything is right? Everything is not well. Labianca has been doing this from 2017. He's not the only one. Members of the MPP have been engaged in other acts of corruption and nothing gets done. And you see, what happens is that anytime we are discussing very serious matters such as this, they will tell you that, oh, it will pass. After a week, the discussion will pass. So that has been their orientation towards fighting corruption. And Bella, trust me, if you look at the economic indicators and everything that is happening under this government, you and I should be worried. We should not even be having these discussions within the partisan interest context because things are getting worse. Things are getting worse and it's scary, and one day it will come crashing on all of us, and by the time we could say Jack, the worst has already happened.
Okay, let me bring Ellen in because the Chamber of Freight and Trade are saying that this report by the special prosecutor was wrong in the first place and it is a clear case of giving the dog a bad name and hanging it. That is what has really happened, and in fact they acted according to the law, and they're talking about the Deputy Commissioner and Labianca and that decision to provide custom advance ruling. That was done lawfully, and so the special prosecutor got his report completely wrong. What do you say?
Good morning.
Good morning again.
Good morning to our viewers. I find it quite interesting that all of a sudden the NDC and their spokespersons like Beatrice suddenly find the special prosecutor one of the best people in Ghana. I don't blame them. I understand how it feels to be in opposition and you really do not have anything to talk about. And anything good that comes into the country or anything good that seems to be happening to us, you have to twist it and all of a sudden find something to say. And it is now Mr. Akufo-Addo's fault that the special prosecutor is doing his job. The special prosecutor was brought in to close a certain gap that we all felt was in the fight against corruption. Do I have an opinion on what he has said? Yes. I mean, he's brought out his findings. That is what he thinks. And that is what he believes that went on with the petition somebody sent to him. According to what you read to us, somebody petitioned him about this issue, and then he went to look into it. Now let's look at, has the company responded? Have they brought out any?
No, they haven't.
They haven't. But we have heard the response of the
Chamber of Freight.
Chamber of Freight.
And also Kenna Retired.
Before I even go to Kenna, let me talk about the Chamber of Freight. Meaning that these concessions or these, whatever it is that went on, it's not just this company that has benefited in quotes from it. All other importers can also apply and benefit. That's what I want us to clear that it is not illegal to go and apply for certain benefits. The company even applied for what, from what you read, for a 50 to 80% rebate, and they were giving what? Is it 10%?
5 to 10%. Yes.
5 to 10%. So if the
hold on, I'll let you come to that.
The company, according to the special prosecutor, and you read.
I read the statement. Yes, that's what the special prosecutor's report said.
The special prosecutor said the company applied for a rebate of 50 to what? 80%. And the customs divisions decided that no, you are not getting 50 to 80%. We are giving you 5 to 10%. Is that what? According to the special prosecutor. Meaning that all other companies can also go and apply for these rebates. Or it is just Labianca who has gone for it and has received it. Can other companies apply? I would want to request that since the special prosecutor is doing this and he's been able to get us some money, perhaps he should also go into all the other rebates that have been given to all companies that import things into Ghana. Maybe let's start from the past 10 years. Let's go into it, because if he's been able to get us 1 million Ghana cedis, it means others he might also be able to get us more money from the other companies. Are you also trying to tell me that it is only MPP people? I don't know whether this woman, as she's claiming, is a what we call it, what did she say she was?
A member of the council?
No, she said she was giving the party money. Is that what
well, she said she's a financier of the party.
I don't know about that. But assuming that other businessmen are also financiers of the NDC, and they are doing this, is she trying to tell me that they are all corrupt? Or we don't have financiers of the NDC who also import things into Ghana? So I believe the special prosecutor should go back, maybe the next 10 years, all the rebates that the GRA has given to importers into Ghana. And let's look at it. Perhaps he can get us more money, because we need money. That is what I'll say about this whole matter. As for the freight forward...
Even before I get to that, let's just put this across, especially because Beatrice is saying that's not what happened per the report. So let me just read points 4 all the way to maybe a bit of 4.6. It says that of special significance to the investigation is a joint application for the acceptance of values of frozen foods intended to be imported, lodged at the Customs Division by Labianca and Rafano Frozen Foods Company Limited on 6 April. Now, it says that the application was almost outlandish, as it in effect requested for the acceptance by the Customs Division of a range of values between 50% to 80% lower than the approved benchmark values of the frozen foods in question. Mr. Ediche, who is the Deputy Commissioner, who was seized with this matter, declined the prayer of the applicants on the advice of the Customs Technical Services Bureau. Had the matter ended, the complaint would have had no substance and the investigation would have been terminated at the preliminary stages. Further, the perplexing, audacious nature of the application would have been rendered of no moment. However, Mr. Eduche proceeded to render a customs advance ruling to the applicants by reducing the values of their intended imports between a range of 5 to 10% below the approved benchmark values of frozen foods. So now, if you go even further, the report says that the company admitted that they did not even apply for the customs advance ruling at all. And so it was not part of the application, but then the deputy commissioner still went ahead to give them.
Applied for it.
That's different, which is what I was reading.
So what I'm trying to say is that
they asked for something different, and the company was granted something different.
And that's what the freight forwarders brought in. That is it illegal to be granted this whole thing?
Because it is not. Per the Customs Act 2015,
I don't import anything
it
into
is
this
not.
country. I'm not into that business. So honestly, I really do not get it. That's why I want an explanation. Is it illegal for you to apply for this rebate?
Per the freight chamber, it is not.
It is
per
not.
the Customs Act 2015 Act 891, it is not. It is something that happens.
So they applied, somebody or the company applied for something that the special prosecutor calls outlandish. And they were later granted the 10%
custom advance ruling,
and he feels that it wasn't right for them to do
that. Wasn't what was requested for, and so he didn't see why the deputy commissioner even went ahead to grant that.
The deputy commissioner would have to come and explain to us with to the special prosecutor with documents that shows why he granted that 5 to 10%. All I want us to understand is it is not illegal. Because that is the perception being put out there, that when you go and ask for these rebates, it is illegal. It is not. And as I was trying to say, Is Beatrice trying to tell me that it is only MPP, supposed MPP business tycoons, who are involved in imports of goods into Ghana, and that business people who support the NDC do not import goods? And even if they do, if they have some and they do, don't they also apply for these things? It is only Labianca who does it? That's the question I want to know. So I would want the special prosecutor to go further in his job for the next 10 years, to go, perhaps some of us will think about petitioning him, to go back into the grants or these grants given by the Customs Division for the last 10 years, because this is how many years ago. So let's go a bit further. All companies that import things into Ghana, how many of them were granted this? Were they granted it in the right way? Have we lost some money? If there's some money we can recover, let us get it. But to come and pin this administrative issues on the back of the president, and to come and sit here this morning and tell me that somebody who was elected, Labianca, I don't know her real name, but let me call her by that, was elected by the people of the Western region to come and represent them on the Council of States. So there's a process of getting her out if the people of the Western region, or if we feel she's done something wrong. It is not the work of the president to tell her to go. There's a process. So let us activate the process if you feel that she's done something wrong. But to come and castigate the president and practically call him in for this, I think it's a very unfair comment.
Is it not because he's not acted on a lot of other corruption cases? If you ask, he says, well, they are investigating, allow the full investigation to carry on.
That is why the special prosecutor was brought in by this government. And the special prosecutor is doing his job. He has brought one of the investigations and what he entails. It has come out. The people have paid. They are also doing what they have to do. If there's anybody to be prosecuted for whichever wrongdoings that have gone, I think we should go ahead and do it. As a government and as a party, I don't think we have any issues with it, because the special prosecutor's office was actually brought in by this government. So if you sit here and tell me that the president does not believe in fighting corruption, what did you do when you were in power? What did you do to fight it? We brought in the special prosecutor who has done his job and has brought out these findings. So this morning, I think she better find something else to say than trying to draw in the president into this matter. If the president was not doing his job, he would not have set up the office of the special prosecutor, which you were all against. You said all manner of things against him and the fact that he cannot work and it is a useless office. Now the office is working. You've all gone behind the office and you are praising him, which is good. He's doing his job. But I just want you to know that it is this president that you say cannot fight corruption is the one who brought him.
But if you have majority of Ghanaians saying that they don't even believe in the fact that the president is actually fighting corruption,
and that is what I'm trying to say, that
even though there has been the institution of the office of the special prosecutor,
who you don't believe is fighting corruption is the one who thought it wise to bring the office of the special prosecutor.
Then why is it that Ghanaians still think that he's not doing enough to fight corruption?
As I said, it is up to me and the government to let you know that one of the benefits of bringing the special prosecutor's office that they felt was not useful, because if you remember, a lot of people were saying there are other agencies and there are other things. He was brought in to fill a certain gap, and it's obvious he's filling that gap. But so to say that the president is not fighting corruption, what should he do? One of the things he should do is to make sure that such officers are in place and the people are given the leeway to do their job. Now, if the president was not interested in fighting corruption, this whole story would not even have come out in the first place.
I remember the special prosecutor not long ago was even complaining about the fact that he had not been, resourced enough to even do his job.
Yes, a lot of government agencies have been complaining that they are not resourced. Obviously, he has enough resources to do his job. He's brought out something. For a member, and that's why I have a bit of issue, a member of the Council of State to actually be brought to book. And nobody has stopped these investigations from going on. Nobody has stopped the investigations from coming out with their findings. And she and her company, let me use the company, has agreed to pay for whatever that needs to be paid. And if there are any illegal what they've broken any laws, they should be taken to court. For it to happen under the watch of President Akufo-Addo, that should tell you that he's a president who's serious about fighting corruption.
But if a company has agreed to pay, that's also an admission of wrongdoing.
That is why I said if it is an admission of wrongdoing, that is why the special prosecutor is there. They have a whole prosecuting people there who prosecute. Let's take them to court.
Ellen, should we
and I think
relook?
it is a process that they
should
have started.
We relook at
so you
this?
Should no. Let me finish.
Hold on.
I will not allow the president's name to be dragged into this matter.
You've made the point
when
already.
The man obviously has done everything right to make sure that this case
should
comes out.
Should we relook at this law that allows for tax rebates? Because at this point when we're talking about, and hold on, I'm asking a question. At this point when we're barely meeting our revenue targets, and our deficit is even higher than expected and all of that, and we're trying to find ways to internally generate revenue, at a point when we've been told that we'll focus more on, producing locally, and yet there are farmers, rice farmers, who have admitted that they've had to travel to Nigeria to even grow rice because the conditions there for them to grow rice is even better because they are not getting fertilizer, all the other things that they require to be able to farm here in Ghana. They are not getting that. Fertilizer is a major problem. And so some of them have had to travel outside the country to even grow some of these crops. And these are farmers who may not even get some of these tax rebates. And then we have people who are importing all these products from other countries and they're getting tax rebates as high as 1 million Ghana cedis. Are we really serious about encouraging Ghanaians to eat and grow locally made products as against imported products?
Well, I think before Parliament rose, there was this bill in front of them about these tax rebates.
Tax exemptions.
And I believe these are all part of it. I have to cross-check and be sure if they have passed it. I think I saw some information that said it might be one of the bills that they passed. So I believe that problem has been eloquently expressed all over the years, that it is very unfair. And if you realize, one of the reasons why some of our agencies are not doing so well, sectors, especially in agric, is the importation of these frozen. Let me even go straight to farming because I've been involved in it for a while. When you have Ghanaian farmers who are doing everything possible to get the poultry, especially the poultry farming going, and then they produce these things, and then you have these ones coming in, and the prices are far lower, and so you produce here and nobody buys it. So it's been a running issue for years. I know that this tax rebates or exemption thing has been put in front of Parliament. Hopefully they have passed it. And if they do pass it, it's going to take care of this whole matter. And I'm one of those who is still advocating that no matter, you can't stop somebody from importing in frozen chicken. But the taxes on it should be such that when you bring your frozen chicken and I produce my local chicken should be cheaper. So yes, I know this process is going on. Parliament is working very hard on this tax exemption bill. And if it comes and they do it and we start implementing it, we are going to have a more easier time with our farmers. I come from a place where we do a lot of poultry farming. And so for us, it's important that this is done. And so if you ask a question, what has been done, I know Parliament is supposed to pass that bill. So hopefully they pass. Let me check and cross-check and make sure that
Beatrice, I'll come back to you. Let's just take a quick break. This is the big issue on TV3Newday. We'll come back and talk more about this matter. And of course, the fact that inflation for the month of July has shot up again. We'll be back. Back, it's still the big issue on TV3Newday, and this segment is proudly brought to you by Niche Chocolate, Niche Cocoa Drink, and Niche Chocolate Paste with Peanut. And in the studios, we have lawyer Beatrice Ann, and she speaks on behalf of the NDC, and Ellen Amadek, who speaks on behalf of the NPP. Let's quickly wrap up on this matter, and then we can go into the Fitch ratings and, of course, the latest with regards to other matters. But Beatrice.
First of all, it's very obvious that Ellen has not read the report this morning. And it's also obvious that she probably genuinely does not understand the operation of the ports. Because even though Labianca is also a Council of State member elected, she's an appointee of the president as a member of the board. What you do is that Custom has set up benchmark values.
She was in the last administration.
Custom has set up benchmark values that because people like Labianca will in the most unscrupulous manner underdeclare, that when you are bringing out these items, this is the acceptable values. What Labianca sought to do was that she wanted a 50 to 80% discount of the values as has been set, which is the benchmark value. And in addition to that, a tax discount between 5 to 10%. So she wanted double, both. That is the unconscionable thing we are talking about.
But the special prosecutor's report says she didn't even ask for that 5 to 10% at all.
No, she did. That is what you give the advance ruling on. The advance ruling is only given on the tax.
So did he get it wrong when he said that per the response that they gave,
he said he didn't
they did not request for that?
He didn't get the 50 to 80% benchmark reduction she asked for. It was the advance ruling that she got. And so when we are discussing the report and genuinely for some reason you have not read, I think you should take your time, because the reason why I'm saying that is sometimes when you are in leadership, you have to listen to the people. And I think sometimes Ellen should listen to the people, because to sit here this morning and say that if Ghanaians have a perception that despite...
Hold on, Ellen, please let her make her point. You hold on, that's why you are here, so you can respond. Hold on.
Despite the office of the special prosecutor, they still do not believe that the president is committed to fighting corruption. I think we should listen. And if she had listened, I'm probably sure she wouldn't have gotten her 9 votes in the election. Because sometimes...
No, but that's not fair. Because that has nothing to do with... That has nothing to do... That has nothing to do with what we're discussing. So let's talk about her election. That's totally out of the conversation.
Listening.
Hold on, Ellen, please. I'll let you speak.
No, when you attack me...
I'm not attacking you.
I keep on telling her
I'm not attacking you.
The day you come after me, that day I also go after you.
I'm not attacking you.
She picks up forms in the upcoming NDC elections and stands for a position.
I will obviously
she does not talk about what I got in my elections.
I will obviously.
It is below the belt.
No, but it's not right to make fun of whatever number she may have gotten, because her running for women's organization is totally different from the conversation we're having today.
It's fine.
So please,
Bella, no, let me react.
You let her react.
It is beneath her. She's up and above this. I expect her to do better. And that if a fellow woman goes for an election, which you don't even have the guts to go for, and you sit here and you make fun and mockery of it, it tells me the kind of person you are. Obviously, I don't think you have the guts to go for such an election. So until she does, she should keep mute about it. Now about this thing about me not reading.
No, I'm not saying you're not reading. I said you haven't read the report.
She hadn't read the report.
No, I said you haven't read the report.
What do you mean by I haven't read the report?
Because
obviously yesterday you gave us what we are supposed to do. When we sat here, you read out the points that the special prosecutor had brought. And I was just referring to the points that you read. And I was just asking questions. Obviously, as I said, I don't work in the ports. I don't import things. So you need to ask for clarifications on things that happen. But for you to impugn and impute that I haven't read and I should listen to who? You?
Let's move on. Let's move on and talk about Fitch downgrading. Or you want to wrap up on this?
Yeah, I was trying to say that when you are in leadership and things such as these are brought to your attention, the best way is for you to listen and correct it, even if you have a contrary opinion, because to rubbish the report, to rubbish the happenings, and to say that the president should not do anything or is not responsible is to say that we should continue what we have. And I'm saying that when it comes to corruption, we are all victims of it. And so if we don't speak against it with one voice, if we try to make it partisan or defend it when we are not supposed to defend, and calling on our own president to act where his appointees are misbehaving, it's not far-fetched. Who else has the power to appoint and fire apart from the president? So nobody should assume that when some of these things happen and we call on the NPP to listen and act, we are saying that it's something wrong. I don't think there is anything wrong with it.
Point made, and we hope that further details will come out about this. Of course, we're being told, from the Chamber of Freight and Traders, that in actual fact, Labianca company did request for this particular, thing that we're talking about here. And so it is contrary to what the report had said, that they did not request for a custom advance ruling. In actual fact, they did, and maybe documents might come out eventually indicating that they actually did request for that. But let's move on.
Copies. I have the letter.
So they did request for it.
I'll give you copies of. They did request
for
it.
But why is it then that the special prosecutor's report says that they admitted that they didn't ask for it?
It's the 50 to 80.
No, let me find it, because
Please
I mean I read it,
and it says
that per the response by the managing director, they said they did not request for the custom advance ruling.
They did. I have a letter from them, Labianca and a company called Raffiano, both owned by the same person, wrote to the custom to ask for that. It is the basis of the petition. The advance ruling is the basis of the petition to the office of the OSP.
Okay.
Otherwise, there would have been no petition.
I'll find it, but let's just move on. I'll try and read. There's quite a lot of points here. I'll find it.
The office of the OSP. Therefore, she has all documents, including those that the OSP has not declared or have not said it is there. And since she's the one who can read and reads everything, she should bring us the so-called reports. The so-called report shows that letters that are in circulation are even right letters. We are concentrating on what the OSP has said, on what the OSP's report said. And that is what we are all using. So until she brings us, she tells me that she's now been appointed as a prosecutor there. So she has documents. She should just let us have our peace with this matter.
Okay.
With this matter, I believe that everyone who has been, including Labianca, I mean, she's the main, her company is the main focus here. She also has a voice. And if she so wishes to react to it, she would react. So until she does, we are going to use what the OSP has said. And as I said, the office of the OSP was put in place by President Nana Akufo-Addo. That should tell everybody that President Nana Akufo-Addo is damn serious about fighting corruption. He has not stopped this investigation. He didn't stop the report from coming up. He hasn't done anything anywhere to show that he's not interested in us getting to the bottom of this.
Okay.
And as I said, the OSP should also go back. And for the last 10 years, all the people we have given these rebates to, let's look into it. Perhaps we can get some money.
Okay. Well, I will find that point before we wrap up. It's quite a lot on the screen, and so I will definitely find that point where it says that they did not request for it. But let's talk about Fitch now. And just a few days after the S&P downgraded Ghana to CCC, we're told that also Fitch has downgraded us now to CCC with a negative outlook. So rating agency Fitch downgraded Ghana's long-term foreign currency issuer default rating to CCC from B-. And this B- was earlier this year. In fact, in January, we were at B before, and they downgraded us to B-. And now we have moved from B- to CCC. And we're told the downgrade reflects the deterioration of Ghana's public finances, which has contributed to a prolonged lack of access to Eurobonds market, in turn leading to a significant decline in external liquidity. It does, however, admit that, yes, Ghana may have put in place some measures to try and address the issues that have come about as a result of COVID-19 and also as a result of the Russia-Ukraine war. But at the same time, unfortunately, we've not been able to get some support, monetary support from Eurobond markets. And so that makes it even more difficult now for us to get that support, which is why they are downgrading us. I mean, Ellen, this is not too good for your government, especially because they are already fighting Standard & Poor's rating, saying that it is unfair to make this statement and to give us this rating when you know that we have put measures in place to ensure that we are able to recover some way, somehow. But as if that's not enough, Fitch is also now downgrading you, and they are admitting that, yes, there's Russia-Ukraine war, there's COVID, but you're still not in a position to even be able to pay back
and
some of these monies that you get. I
can tell you that further rating agencies, perhaps to the end of the year, are going to give not so favorable ratings on our economy. And we are all aware. And the president told us, the finance minister has been telling, the vice president has been telling us that we are going to have a very tough time in recovering after all the economic turbulence that we've been through. So for some of us, and I believe for government, this is not surprising. The important thing is the questions that we should be asking is, what are we doing to make sure that with all these ratings, we still come out good at the end of the day? And I believe yesterday, the Deputy Finance Minister, John Kuma, put out a statement about the things that the government is doing to make sure that we come out of all this. And I don't know if you have it, but one of the things that he said is that the Bank of Ghana, because our depreciating cedi is also one of the things that is feeding into all these returns. And so he put out the measures that the Bank of Ghana has been putting in place. If we do have the time, I'll go into it. But I just want Ghanaians and people to know that government is really working hard. And between now to the end of the year, we should expect more of such downgrades because we've been through a lot. Our economy has been through a lot. And you can argue your way about how we got to this level. We all know how we got here. But the important thing is to get out of it and go. I'm sure that the opposition, as usual, will go on this and have a field day about it. But the point is, it does not change the fact that government needs to do what it has to do to make sure that we get back. And according to the Deputy Finance Minister, we are doing everything possible to get back. When you give me the opportunity, I think I can...
Go ahead if you can go
all
through
right.
briefly.
So he was explaining, especially with the cedi depreciation, because I believe that is what is feeding into all this, that the government, if you remember, I heard there's $750 million loan that Parliament has to approve.
They have approved.
Oh, have they
actually.
approved
Yes.
it? Okay, to boost our foreign exchange position. I think that is going to the Bank of Ghana, and it was supposed to be between, is it Afri-Exim? Okay, that's Afri-Exim Bank. That is one. There's also a 250 million. I think that is the one I was talking about, awaiting parliamentary approval. And from what we hear, they are going to call Parliament back to come and approve it.
Well, they really, minority says they are not going to approve that 250 million.
Well, let them get there. When they get there and they will approve, then we can talk about that.
Okay.
And then, but these are the things that the government is doing. And then there's also, they said they are doing a lot to increase the FX, that's the FX position of the central bank. And then apart from I think yesterday was when the Vice President also spoke to and inaugurated the committee that is dealing with us keeping some of our gold here so that it also boosts our economy. And from what I hear, or from what I read, the gold purchase program, what we are doing is supposed to keep some of our gold here, about 30% of what we produce here, in our reserves, so that also gives strength to the economy. Now, all these things that we are doing, the fiscal consolidation that the government introduced, including cutting some of the expenditure, cutting salaries, cutting, I mean, they've even cut fuel allocations and all that. Eventually, they'll all come together and get us as a program, get us out of it. But between now and when all this, the IMF program is also being still considered, but that's also 8 months or so away. So by the time all of that comes together, I believe that we'll get out of this situation. But as for the ratings, I think we should all brace ourselves. We are going to get more.
But all these things that you're doing, is that going to generate enough, let's say, revenue for us? Because we don't even have details of the fact that you say you've cut down on expenditure by this percentage. Salaries have been cut down by 30%, but we've not gotten details of how much has been accrued from that, where that money is, what we're going to use it for. Nothing has been said about that. It will be it's a bit too early for us to get all this. I expect the finance minister to bring them out. Salaries were cut when? And by the time they go through the processes of knowing what have been saved, and they'll put them all together and let us know. But between when they asked for the salary cuts, and I think I saw some documents actually asking government agencies that we are taking away this, we are taking away this. All of those will have to come together in the budgets that would have to be read by the finance minister eventually. So we'll get to know the details. And I believe that we can also ask for the details. Some of these things, it might be out there, but we haven't asked for it. But do we need to ask for it?
Oh, yes.
The finance minister was in Parliament, a few weeks ago, giving us a statement, a media statement. A lot of people expected that as part of the breakdown, he will let us know exactly how much we had even saved. As I said, from salary cuts, from fuel allocation cuts, and all the other measures that we put in place.
Projection of what we will save. What has actually been said, they had just started the process. So how do you expect that in just about a month or two into the process? Let us wait for the year to end. Then we can know whether it has helped. As I said, between now and when the year ends, we are still going through the processes. and it is going to take some time before all the figures come together. So as for these ratings there, we should expect.
E-levy started in May. It's just been
but
a month
what
or two,
happened
but
with
we've gotten details of
But
how
what
much we've
happened with the
even been able
E-levy?
to generate from that. You don't think that the same thing could have been done with regards to the
If you
expenditure
ask-
cuts and all that? At
if
least
you
so far,
ask-
this is how much we have been able to save.
If you ask for it, I'm sure you get it. We haven't asked for it.
We have to ask the finance
I
minister
think
for
so.
that.
It's specifics that you want.
But that is
a lot of us
job.
were interested.
We don't have to ask him to do his job.
A lot of us were interested in what was being done with the e-levy because of all the things that had gone on.
Are we not interested in how much
we
government
asked,
has saved
what is
from
going on with the e-levy?
the
And
cuts?
people actually went looking for it. How many people are really into? You are just asking about it. How many people are
I'm
really
not
interested?
just asking about it. A lot of people have asked about
I
it.
am now hearing you asking about it. How
But
many
lots of
people-
Ghanaians have asked
so
about
it
it,
is
Ellen.
easy to ask the finance ministry for it. The finance ministry has a lot of things to do. One of them is also making sure that what have we saved and what have we gained. So you can easily ask for it, and I'm sure you can get it.
Beatrice, so this downgrade, I mean, of course, I'm sure you saw that statement from the Ministry of Finance fighting off that grading by S&P. In fact, they had reduced us to CCC plus C. And the Finance Ministry came out and said that we have put in measures. And so this is very unfair for you to come out at this point and downgrade us. But we all expected that once S&P has come, Fitch will come, Moody's will come as well. And I remember that earlier this year, when all these downgrades came, the ministry came out and said that it's high time we even start to look for localized rating agencies, because these foreign agencies really are not here for our interest. And so now this is happening, and Ellen is saying that we should expect it even more, even though we put in measures to ensure that our revenue streams are a bit more balanced. What do you say?
You know, when I saw the Fitch downgrade yesterday, I just said to myself that John Wesley will not be happy with Dr. Baumia, because I believe that one of the tenets of the Methodist Boys Brigade is discipline. And if he were ever a member, we have to practice discipline. We are here talking about Fitch downgrade. And prior to this discussion, we've seen the millions of cedis that have gone to apparatchiks of the government. How does the government honestly believe that they can achieve anything substantial with the kind of corruption and economy they are running? If you look at the S&P, the Moody's, and the Fitch downgrade, consistently, all the three agencies have said that the reasons for our downgrade is because of our inability to generate revenue to meet our liquidity and debt challenges. And so if you have these challenges, and they themselves have admitted several times that we have these challenges, and your revenue streams, you have created some bureaucracy, and you are saying that you are using laws to evade the revenue, in the long term, it will come and affect you, because I have consistently said that the thing about economics is that economics is not Kasai and Frama. You can be an economist like Dr. Baumia, who would speak and speak and speak and hold lectures without any prudent economic measures. In the long term, the principles will expose you, like he's been badly exposed. And so the government needs to set up, and we don't need the government to be telling us the challenges. We live the fuel prices of 60 cedis per gallon. My favorite bread is 15 cedis from 7 cedi.
It's even now 25 cedis at some places.
So we are living the condition, and our lives are getting worse. I have had the opportunity of interacting with a lot of women and single mothers, and consistently the standard of life is depreciating. And so the government should not be telling us that there are challenges. Like Nanado said, they should fix the challenges, because that is what they've been voted to. They are not PRO of economic mess, so they can't be speaking for economic mess. They have to fix the challenge. But Bella, let me say that this government, I don't know what to even believe, whether they are genuinely incompetent or honestly they don't care. And in the second term, I get the impression that it's as though the government is packing out of government.
Why?
And so they don't even care about anything. The measures, as was announced by the Deputy Finance Minister, are very hollow measures. First of all, the $750 million that we are told is being raised, for which reason our economy will stabilize. It is being pioneered by a bank called Afri-Exim. That bank is pulling out because they are not even confident that given the harsh terms of the loan, government can even meet their repayment obligation.
So they are pulling out?
They are pulling out. That is why, even though Parliament has approved it long ago, we don't have the money. Normally, every year we go onto the international market for what we call between 1.2 to 1.3 cocoa syndicated loans. Ask them where are the loans. The banks are not willing. They are currently on the international market. Nobody sees Ghana as credible. In fact, as we sit here under this government, individuals are more credible than the entire government put together. And so the market will respond if you have an incompetent finance minister who is a cousin of the president and who believes that he's untouchable and no matter what, he will not make way for competent hands to come and manage the economy. The market will respond because investors are rational. They are not MPP party foot soldiers. They are rational. And the reason we are even where we are is what we call the huge capital outflows. Inflation today is at 31.7%.
Yeah.
T-bills is doing 24% plus for 91 days. If you look at the difference between the interest rate and the inflation, it means that investors will be making losses. So some of them are discounting their interest. Some of them are even taking out their investment that has matured out. And what is happening is that Bank of Ghana doesn't have dollars. And so the black market, they are taking the dollars to the black market. That's also why, as we sit here, a dollar is 9 cedi 20 pesos. At the time, the dollar was 4 cedi 20 pesos. They were shouting everywhere, wailing everywhere, moving from station to market to market. Today, you have added 5 cedis. So between President Kufuor's time to Professor John Mills to President Mahama, the dollar 4 cedi 20 pesos. Only you have added 5 cedis more, and we are told that what this government. I think that the government is painfully useless.
That's quite harsh. No, and again, is it not Russia, Ukraine? I mean, constantly they have attributed, the difficulties that we're facing to Russia, Ukraine, and to COVID.
You see, COVID is a pandemic. Obviously, COVID will have an effect. But COVID is not the reason why we are here. I have consistently made the point that COVID was our blessing. Because with COVID, do you know that all the loans we got from COVID, there is not even a single one that we are paying interest on as we speak. Because they were given to us under very favorable terms. And so the government ought to have been prudent and to put the resources into good use. But what did they do? They saw money. And so if they had to buy vaccine, they had to inflate it by 90%. They saw money. And so they had to share for constituency and parliamentary candidates. Hard cash. They saw money.
Those are just allegations.
No.
They have not been
Am
proven.
I the parliamentary candidate? Am I the one who received the money? She came out to say it.
Yeah, but those are allegations. Has it been proven?
She hasn't come out to deny it. So I am holding her by her word.
But shouldn't investigations be conducted so that we know that it's really true?
But they are responsible for conducting the
exactly, but so we can't just take her word for it. Because what if someone comes to accuse former President Mahama of something that he probably did not do? Will we take it because that person is a member of your party?
We are going to the IMF. That's why you can't even see any... Because the IMF would demand for an audited account of how the COVID is used. And I'm saying that if you had the resources, this government has had 500 billion. 500 billion by way of revenue and inflows into the country. It is the government that has increased our debt from 120 to 393 billion. And yet the government does not have single school, a single regional hospital, a single district hospital. The other day, the president told us that he misspoke. So even the much touted Agenda 111 cannot be achieved.
Well, we're told that about 87 of those are underway.
And another time, we are told that they are facing challenges with land.
Yes, but then it's 111. So at least that 87, that was around the time the president spoke.
Of government, or
he said
guessing?
that, yes, no, I'm not guessing. This is the president who spoke.
Okay.
When he said that it was an overly ambitious promise, he said that, however, there were some 87 or so that were underway.
We hope so.
Exactly.
Because they told us in 18 months. We've done more than 2 years. And so now they are saying 2024. What I'm saying is that this government has been the most indisciplined government. They have not been prudent. They do not take the people of Ghana serious, and certainly they do not have the competence to manage the economy. And so they should resign en bloc for a new election to be carried out, because we don't want Sri Lanka in Ghana.
All right, let me just read this point. I said I was going to find it. So 4.18 of the Special Prosecutor's report, it says that Kenna retired Damwa acknowledged the disingenuity of the outcome by admitting that the applicants did not meet the legal requirements for the issuance of customs advance ruling. Then again, Ms. Asumahine and Mr. Eche Gadegbeku stated expressly that Labianca did not apply for customs advance ruling.
They did.
Well, here, that's what I'm saying, that per the Special Prosecutor's report, they said they didn't. Anyway, I've been speaking to Ellen